Hello to you, my fellow Gooners, and welcome to Arsenal TV. This is my preview for Arsenal versus Wolves, which is today at the Emirates Stadium, 3 o'clock kickoff. For me, this game is not going to be an easy game, and the reason why I say it's not going to be an easy game, because when you look at Wolves in terms of the way they were last season, they look a complete different side. They look an absolute complete different team. Now, I'm not saying that Wolves are going to win this game, but it is a possibility that they could beat Arsenal. Now, if we look at Wolves, for instance, now Wolves have only won twice out of their last 10 Premier League games. They have drew 6, and one of those 2 wins that they've had was against Man City at the Etihad. Now, as we all know, the Etihad and Anfield are one of the 2 big Premier League stadiums that is very hard to go and get a result at. Now, there's something that's different with Wolves. When Wolves play against the top 6 sides, they seem to always turn up. They seem to always put in a good, decent performance. But when they play teams that are down the bottom of the table, they seem to struggle all the time. They just don't seem to have that firepower like they do when they play against the top 6 sides. As we all know, last season when we played against Wolves at the Emirates Stadium, we drew 1-1. And I think that the Wolves supporters was disappointed that they didn't come away with 3 points. And during that game, even I thought Wolves would have came away with 3 points because they were better than Arsenal. But we managed to hold it out for a 1-1. And then we actually went to Molineux and played at their ground last season, and we got thrashed 3-1. So yeah, Wolves, it proves that they are no mugs. They've had some decent results this season, but it's just against the top 6 sides that they just seem to turn up. In terms of Arsenal at the moment, you can tell that there seems to be problems within the whole club. Now, you only have to look at the last result that we had against, Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. We scored 9 goals and yet we still lost. It's just our defence. We just cannot seem to hold on to leads. We just can't. If you look at the way our defence was and the way Unai Emery was when he made certain changes, I just didn't get his changes. I just didn't get it whatsoever. You're trying to hold on to a lead, but yet you're taking off your best defensive midfielder. You need to create goals, but yet you're taking off your best number 10. It just doesn't make no sense. Now, as we know that, obviously last time out in the Premier League, Arsenal held that to a 2-2 draw against Crystal Palace, considering we were 2-0 up. And it's just mind-boggling. How can we be 2-0 up and then go and draw 2-2? People will say that the penalty for Sahar was a dive. I don't think it was. I think it was actually a penalty, because it was contact compared to the one at Liverpool. What is Unai Emery going to do? What is he going to do? It's clear that there is problems in the dressing room, because I'm hearing that the young players have been mocking Unai Emery in terms of the way he talks and stuff. Now, for me, it depends on what Arsenal turns up. Are we going to be the Arsenal that comes out all guns blazing? Or are we going to be the Arsenal that we've been the same as this season? Will has been slow, been boring. There hasn't been nothing exciting. So for me, it depends on what Arsenal turns up. I think team selection is going to be completely different to what it was in terms of the Carabao Cup against Liverpool. The most important thing for me for this game is that we need to get 3 points. We need to get 3 points, and we need to put the past behind us of what's happened, and move on and just move forward. So guys, with that said, I'm going to get into my predicted lineup. I'm going to go with a 4-2-3-1. There's a couple of changes in there that people may disagree on, but it is what I'm going with. So starting off in goal, and that is Bernd Leno. Now, I know people have said about Martinez in being, the Premier League goalkeeper. But I think it was pretty evident against Liverpool that really, to be honest, when I look back on it, Martinez should have saved a few of those goals. So yeah, and I think that's the reason why we've got Bernd Leno in goal. So that's what I'm going to go with, Bernd Leno. I'm going to move to the defensive area. Playing at right back for me is going to be Hector Bellerin. I thought Bellerin sort of had a good game against Liverpool. He was okay going forward. Struggled a little bit defensively. But I would like to see him to, just tighten up those screws a bit and just keep things very, very basic. So I'm going to go with Hector Bellerin. Playing at left back, I'm going to go with Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney came on in the last few minutes against Liverpool because C. Kolesnik has picked up a knock, and it looks like that Kieran Tierney will be the Premier League left back to play. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Kieran Tierney. We're going to go to the two centre-backs. First off, I'm going to go with Socrates. Now, the last couple of Premier League games, he has been poor. But I think he's had some good performances. And I think that this is the type of game where he needs to be on top of his game, because I think that with Wolves, they will try and get in our channels. And this is where Socrates needs to clear his lines. Playing alongside him is going to be David Luiz. David Luiz hasn't had that much of a bad game in the games that he's played. He's got 2 goals for Arsenal at the moment from set pieces. But I just think that David Luiz needs to do exactly the same thing what Socrates needs to do. And that is, when the danger appears, just clear your lines. So that is what I'm going to go with, David Luiz. I'm going to move to the midfield area, the two that sit in front. First off, I'm going to go with Lucas Torreira. I don't think Lucas Torreira had a bad game against Liverpool when he played. I just think that he needs to start Premier League games. He's our best defensive midfielder, and what he needs to do is just sit back and, and if he just sits back, he can protect that back line. Because as we know, our defence is not that great. And when that danger appears, he needs to act fast and get on the transition straight away. So I'm going to go with Lucas Torreira. Playing alongside him, and I'm going to go with Dani Ceballos. I would like to see Dani Ceballos in his actual position. I think that Dani Ceballos has played well when he has played. But I think it's still early days yet. It is still early days for him. Because he's still adapting to the Premier League as well. But he hasn't done too bad. So I'm going to go with Dani Ceballos. I'm going to go to the attacking area, the 3 that sit in front. First off, out on the right, it's going to be Nicolas Pepe. I would like to see Nicolas Pepe to, start getting the goal in open play. I know that, he scored a free kick in open play and everything else. But I actually want to see him do some curlers straight into the top corners and whatnot, and get past defenders. That's what I like to see. I know it looks like he's starting to settle in, because you could see it from the Sheffield United game and the Man United game. So he is starting to slowly get up to speed. But I would like to see more of him on the field. So I'm going to go with Nicolas Pepe. Playing out on the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. I think that Gabriel Martinelli is the type of player that we need on that left-hand side in terms of pace. I personally like to see him as a main striker, but for this game we need pace, because we need to push Wolves the other way. And with Martinelli's work rate, he can track down that ball and he can press it quickly. And if he can do that, then maybe we will get onto the receiving end quite quickly and get into their final third. So I'm going to go with Gabriel Martinelli. Playing in that number 10 role, I'm going to go with Mesut Ozil. Now, for me, I think that Mesut Ozil needs to start in this game. He played absolutely brilliant against Liverpool. And, I know I had Gabriel Martinelli as my man of the match, but Mesut Ozil was also one of them. He created so many chances. He got assists as well. And it proves that is what we've been missing for so long. That is what we've been missing. And I'm hoping that Unai Emery plays him, because if he doesn't, if Unai Emery does not play Mesut Ozil, then I want to know the reason why that Mesut Ozil was taken off against Liverpool. So I'm going to go with Mesut Ozil. Playing up front as a leading striker is going to be Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He was a bit quiet against Crystal Palace. Didn't have that much of a good game, to be quite honest with you. But he's still stuck on 49 goals. and I would definitely like to see him get his 50th goal in this game. And it's still, you know, it's in front of our home fans as well. I know I saw on Twitter about Aubameyang getting abused by certain Arsenal fans, which I think is wrong. Because I think if it wasn't for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, I think we would be in relegation. So yeah, I just think it's completely wrong. So I'm gonna go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So guys, that has been my preview, that has been my predicted lineup. Let me know in the comments box, as always, do you agree, do you disagree? And let me know of your predicted score. I'm going to go with an Arsenal 3-2. I'm not overly confident, but I reckon that we will concede goals just based on our defence. But yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Guys, if you are new to the channel, making sure you are smashing that subscribe button, making sure you are hitting that notification bell so you don't miss another video, making sure you're hitting that thumbs up button, which is very, very important, and making sure you are leaving your comments below. Guys, until my players ratings tonight, I will see you lot soon. I am out of here.